may take one look at it and go,
No.
screw this. So we'll declare this AGM open now at 10 to 10. It's 9:50. We're going to have we hear apologies from the secretary.
Yeah.
And from the floor.
We've got apologies from Moki. We've got apologies from, well, it was going to be Christine and William, but no, they've showed up for it.
Right.
I think that was I think that was about it, unless you guys can, or who else on the committee can remember who might have passed their apologies on.
Not Chris would have, didn't he? Chris Davidson?
Chris
Davidson.
Yes, passed it on? Okay.
Yes.
You did.
And
Apologies, Chris.
no name now. She's just had some health issues, injuries. Veronica. Veronica. Sorry, yeah. When I sent the email out with the agenda last night, I got an apology back from Veronica. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep. So that's right. So shall we hear? We have correspondence.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a.
Yep.
Or review last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're going to do.
I've got that round the wrong way.
Last month.
I will change that. Yep. Okay. So minutes of previous meeting, and because we we've normally done correspondence and then minutes of previous meeting and then business arising from the previous meeting, but we can do it this way around.
It'll be alright.
We'll do correspondence and arising at the same time. Yep. Right, so we'll have the minutes of the previous meeting, of previous AGM. Yeah.
Oh, and am I reading them out?
Yes. Yeah. But you can do what I used to do and just abbreviate. Yeah.
All right. I'm not logged onto the internet,
You want me to
Do you
bring them up
have-
here?
Yeah, I'm happy to read them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the one.
Well, we hope. No, it's, yeah, the annual general meeting from 15th of the 4th, 23. There were quite a few people present. Apologies for Nicotine. Meeting opened at 9:41. Correspondence was Brendan Crouch from South Africa hoping to find work and move here with his family, and a Facebook inquiry from a Ukrainian tuner. And Lisa Brickle had also written in regarding the sale of the Jonathan White collection. Minutes of the 2022 AGM were read through. Business arising was website tool for quoting and hours. Graham Harvey was actually presenting that on the day as well. Brad gave his president's report. Congratulations to Christina and William on the birth of Nels. Email scams based on their website contacts attempting to extract guild funds. That's still ongoing. Incorporated Society issue resolved as of last year. And an important point was made by Stephen Powell about writing up outgoing and incoming role definition and instructions for the Treasurer, the Secretary and the President. Thank you to David Jenkin and Stephen Powell for their work on the NZQA. Reported that previous training days had been invaluable for some technicians, and thanks to Eugene Nakamura and David Jenkin for that. A note for tuners to make sure that they are charging sufficiently to live okay, attend meetings and be able to upskill given the exorbitant inflation of the last couple of years. Moved that the above be accepted by myself and seconded by Brad McClure. And then there's just, do you want me to go through the Treasurer's report and stuff? Or
No,
I think that should be enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So any business arising, anything from that anybody wants to comment on or ask about.
Have the roles been defined? That the roles that Stephen asked about?
I don't think so. Instead, we have had, I think, probably better communication than we've had for a number of years.
Yeah.
David, Brad,
Yeah.
myself, Hughie, it's been good.
Constant. Yeah. Cool.
So we've been solving problems like that.
Yeah.
But if anybody is going to take up any of these roles, they're going to need a really nice definition.
I think it's actually probably a good idea to create that. It doesn't have to be extensive, but it has to say, you know, if I'm the examiner, I do X, Y, Z, and by the way, I should remember this. Or, you know, the secretary or the treasurer's position involves such and such and such, and presentation.
Could be just bullet points, and when certain things happen.
It doesn't have to be extensive.
Subs go out at this time, and
you've been elected secretary. This is what we expect you to do.
Yeah. And we have a documents folder in Shanti where it can go.
Makes it easier to handle.
Who's going to do it?
Well, it could be just a collaboration of existing office holders or something that you know what's going on at the time.
Just bullet points and send it round.
Yeah, there's stuff that was dropped. I mean, that issue with the incorporated societies was basically came about because we dropped the ball on one thing.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So shall we make a note and talk about that in the committee?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. One thing that came up in those minutes that that got my attention was just the brief exhortation to make sure you're charging enough to get to the guild meetings and training, upskilling, all that sort of thing. And since that meeting, we all went to Brisbane, and some of us went to Brisbane, sorry. And Tim from Gazelle, his talk really impressed me. But the thing that I remembered mainly from that talk was he asked us, you know, how many hours do you think you have, billable hours in a year? And most people think that, you know, 52 or 50 if you take 2 weeks holiday, 50 weeks at 40 hours a week is 2,000 hours. Which is how much what your training is, right? But in fact, you can only bill out something like 980 hours a year. That's what you can charge out. The rest of your time, believe it or not, more than half is spent, driving to the job, driving to the garage to get your car serviced, doing your books and GST returns, building sheds, buying tools, ordering stuff. It's way more than you realise. And so the end of the day, and this is the way Tim put it as well, the end of the day is if you think that you're worth $50 an hour, I'm just saying $50 an hour, don't take that as a thing, but if you think you're worth $50 an hour, that means you should need to be charging about 110. Because if you just charge $50 an hour, you're actually making about 20.
It's a third, isn't it, basically? There's that usual, like a third for you, a third for the tax, and a third for crap. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything else, all that other stuff, like telling people their piano, waiting half an hour to tell them that their piano's out of tune. But, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's like when I walk up
limited
and down,
vocab,
When I walk up and down the stairs, I've learned that I always hold the banister when I walk down the stairs. And because one time I walked down the stairs in slippery socks holding a banjo.
Did you record it? Did it sound good?
Some people would be happy about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everything went in all different directions.
It's the best sounding band.
And yeah, so my stepson is a sailor, and he says you have one hand for the ship and one hand for the ship. So in other words, you're holding stuff in your hand and you're walking down the stairway, and that hand's for the ship. You know. So this is like not getting on with our AGM at all.
Not really.
I've just recorded you swearing quite a bit.
Okay, so that's business arising. Yep. And correspondence. Any other correspondence?
There's been three main outgoing letters related to the committee. There has been, although 56 inbound emails that I've had to field with possible trainees. Okay, so that's been that actually replying to them and sometimes talking to them by phone and referring them on to the appropriate people has been reasonably time consuming. In order to do it properly. So that is the extent of all the correspondence this year.
Right.
But it's considerable.
Yeah, I think I've had about 3 as well. Yeah. So it is really good. It's pretty encouraging. So that's all. That's really it, isn't it? So now it's President's report. So I'll make this as quick as I can because we all don't want to be here for the last year. The last year has been a pretty exciting and very, very energetic year for the Guild. We've had there's been a lot of thinking and a lot of stuff going on. We've been pressing ahead with the NZQA cert initiative, and so I'm not going to say much about that because David's going to report on that. But that's pretty exciting, and there's obviously some people here that because of their initiative really. It's been David's been on radio and on TV discussing the issue and what we're doing about it, and I think it's going to be an amazing thing, and it's really exciting. There's that. In October, several of us attended the Brisbane Convention, and we, as a guild, I suppose Australia look on us as a chapter of their guild. As a chapter of the Australian Guild, we're very well represented there. We had, I think, 4 of us were presenting there. So we had Eugene talking about action geometry, is that right? Or
touch weights stuff.
Touch weights, yes, touch weights, right, which is a subset of action geometry. So, and Yuji talking about the Project T. Sorry.
Same direction.
It looks. Okay. Wytze talking about Project T, which you're going to be talking about, not at the AGM. It's
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So, do you want me to briefly say what that is?
Just very briefly.
No. Okay. Well, it's just about replacing toxic lead in keys, which has been in keys for a long time, and replacing lead weights with tungsten. And it's something that nobody else seems to have thought of it, but it's a problem, and it's being solved, which is amazing. And then David presented on regulation, I presume, and preparing concerts, preparing grands for concerts. No, just
No.
reggae. Okay. And David Salmon, acoustics, and room dynamics. Is that right? Or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
just
that?
basically how the piano acoustically behaves in different rooms and what you can do to improve the situation.
Yeah. So I thought about it, and it's like that's kind of 10% of our guild was in. Like what other guild chapters in Australia? What other guilds in Australia? There's only one guild in Australia. They didn't have 10% of their fold. So we're punching up above our weight, and I think we should be really proud. We are a very, what's the opposite of dysfunctional? Functional? We're a very functional guild. Like we're,
On the good days.
I said when I introduced myself that I came along to the guild. I worked for 20-something years on my own because I did my apprenticeship, and I finished my apprenticeship at the end of '86, and in October '87 I went itinerant guitar teaching in high schools and did a little bit of that, and in October '87 the guy that I trained with died, and there was no one else in Invercargill, so I just had to pull my finger out and just get going. So I worked kind of in solitude for 20 years, and then
Was Invercargill.
and it wasn't
A long way.
Well, it's a long way. You didn't feel like coming down. So I met David, and we started talking about the guild, and and the city council sent me up to work with David for a couple of days, just because they bought a new piano, and they wanted to sort of support me, and so that was pretty cool. But that started the conversation about the guild anyway, and I kind of came to the realisation that, hey, I've been working for 20 years, using techniques, tools, ideas that I learnt off somebody who'd been working on his own for 40 years, who probably learnt it off some old geezer. I could be doing things that went out of date 100 years ago. I really could. I mean, seriously. Probably not. But like 20 years ago, or stuff that's just, like I was still mixing up glycerine oil and resin.
Well, the Australians do.
Powdered rosin, glycerine oil, and meths, and pouring it into pin blocks.
You talking powder for type pins?
Yeah.
Talcum powder.
Oh yes, yeah. Lanolin,
Only on female pins.
and CRC.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. This is 20 years ago. So
Petrochemical or the silicon?
no,
The real thing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Don't worry. No need to preach at me. So that's the thing, and that's what the guild is. And I just have to say that when I come along, when I met all you guys, I was just blown away at how friendly and kind and generous. And when I say generous, I mean generous with knowledge. Not just giving me money. But nobody was selfish about their knowledge, and it's like, well, I've got this little thing that I do. I'm not telling anyone else about it because and that's people that are like that don't last long. I've noticed in the guild. People that are like that are selfish with their knowledge and selfish with their time and stuff like that. And it works out better for you if you're not like that. And so I've been here ever since. And anyway, I just kind of wanted to say that again. I also have to mention in my report, because I just talked about the guys that presented. I was really impressed, because we had our November SGM, and Stephen Powell, his presentation there was phenomenal, I thought, and just I wouldn't know where to start figuring out the things that Stephen figured out with regard to that rabbit skin glue, and how on earth he figured out how that factory was using rabbit skin glue. So I've since bought some rabbit skin glue for my violin supplier. But it was pretty intimidating, if I'm honest. No, really good. And so the November SGM was to sort out our constitution and our code of ethics. As David briefly mentioned, the New Zealand Incorporated Societies Act was updated in 2022 in October, and so there's a grace period, but everybody had to update their constitutions, so that act hadn't been updated since, it was like over 100 years old, I think. And so our constitution was updated. We spent quite a bit of time on it, updated a bit of the wording and stuff like that, and we also updated our code of ethics at the time. We had an SGM to ratify that, and then the SGM was also to discuss the NZQA initiative that we're doing. And so we had a couple of people from the academic world there as well. So that's all I'll say about that. And also to discuss and vote on whether we were going to levy our subs in order to kick the ball, get the ball rolling, so to speak, on this initiative, and voting on forming a charitable trust, which we've since done, and usually we'll be talking about that. And we also congratulated two new ARPTs, Sonoko and Matt, and that will be talked about more in the examiner's report, I'm sure. So that's my report. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Around.
Your research starts now. Play the piano music.
That's all I can do now.
We have a treasurer's report.
Yeah, we've got 20 copies on this page one, maybe one for full page the members, and maybe share with 2 or 3 people if it's not maybe don't reach down.
They're all stuck together, aren't they? You have to make sure that you take 3 or 4.
Looks good to me.
Oh, you guys. I should send to Christina and William.
Oh yes, so you can hold it up. What do you want me to?
Maybe if you can hold up.
I can just.
Up there.
I can text them a photo of them.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
You just carry on.
All right. So treasurer's report. Oh, so you guys should. Yeah, from last tax year, from 1st April to 2023 to 31st March this year. Income from subscriptions $5,076.76, and we had exam fees of 1,300 and interest from Kiwi Bank, a small amount here, and a total $6,744.50. Yeah, and expenditure, we have a big expenditure last tax year. Advertising IRMT, Institute of Registered Music Teachers of New Zealand. We put our ads as a Piano Tuners Guild to Music Teachers magazine. So we paid this amount. And we had two examiner's fees separately I wrote here, because the one examiner's fee for 2022 and 2023 tax year, as well as 2023 and 2024 tax years. So it's 22-23 year for $1,035 and 23-24 years for $1,150. I'm talking about that very soon. Workshop exam venue fee $1,150. Workshop refreshment venue hire like this, and the convention prepaid venue fee $4,000. This is the loan money for our Christchurch convention, which is held next year in Christchurch. So this $4,000 is coming back to our pocket once we had $10,000 seed money from APTDA, Australasian Tuners Association. They send us. They are sending us $10,000 very soon, I believe. And then, of course, we send $10,000 back to Australasians after convention. Anyway, so that's fourth. This is not relevant here. And Brisbane Convention expense, one-off payment decided by the committee, $1,500.
What is that usually? What is that?
One-off payment for maybe someone, maybe David or Brad will be talking about if necessary. And APTTA, Australasian Association subsidy, we are contributing 25% of our subscription to Australasian. They are running their own website as well as seed money for conventions and so on and so on. We are contributing 25% of our subscriptions. And we didn't pay, so we paid for 2 years last year. So 22-23 years, 1,350 or something. And 23-24 last tax year, $1,240. So a quite big amount for both two, but I will talk about soon. And Chanty group chatting up annual fee of $317 plus, and bank fee is $70. And total of expenditure is $12,554.98. So compared with income of $6,700, it's quite a big expenditure. It's quite minus here. Yeah, I just write down here. Yeah. So whiteboard thing here. Okay, so expenditures, well, 5 by 4.8. So basically, this amount we paid to outside. But for this one includes about about $2,400 of the payment for 20 to 23 tax years. So examiner's fee. So examiner claims their examiner's fee for 20 to 23 at last tax year. So we paid last year 4 years before. So this should be included last year's treasurer's report or things, but the examiner didn't claim. And also APTT subsidy. So this includes Australian subsidy of $1,240. And also this includes $4,000 seed money, seed loan. As I said, we paid for a venue for securing the dates and things, I think. Yeah, so this is coming back to our account. And also one-off payment of $1,500, one-off money. So that's
$8,000.
Yeah, $8,000.
$8,000.
So actual expenditure last tax year was about $4,500. Yeah, so this seems it's not too bad from income of $6,700. So yeah, I may say don't worry about too big, very big expenditure this year. That will be that is not actually a problem. And probably I may ask any you guys having question about this income, expenditure, and balance and in content. It's okay? Yeah. Or maybe just go on. Just ask later if you had any. So account balances was we had 3 accounts last year, April. Guild's general account of $7,567.04, an online call account $9,590.86, and term deposit $10,100. And this year we opened training travel support account last February. For supporting getting training or certificate program from next year. So this is the account, separated account from that. And then the closing balance of this each account is as you see. So a general account only $1,278.73, and online call account is a bit increased to $10,154.03, and term deposit still stays same. And new developed training travel support account has $70. This it includes a donation from David Jenkin. He donated 2 voicing tools last weekend in New Plymouth, and then people, 2-person bought $40 each. So we had $80 income for travel support account. And then we paid $5 per month account fee for the bank. So at this moment, $70 balance we have. So this is the bank account balances, and current members of and trainees are, as seen here, 38 in total. And can I go through this related topic?
So that's That's 38 members in trainees, or
No,
trainees,
including
no
training.
trainees.
Yeah, including training. Yeah. Just a bit of discussion about membership fee and training levy. Yep, so membership fees and compensations, levies. So first, membership fees, the current setting is $200 per year subscription per each member, with discount of $50 per an attendance at a workshop. And life member is waived, so they don't have to pay anything. Sorry. The trainee is not 200. Sorry, I missed here. This should be $30, I think. Yeah, sorry. No. So the current trainee pays $30 per year. Sorry for that. Yeah, I just copied to the club. Yeah, so only trainee. At this moment, we don't have any trainee category like late last year. Yeah, because 2 trainees were upgraded to ARPD last year. So. And then this is just my proposal or my guess or my suggestion for next year, for this coming tax year. Basically, no change for ARPDs and life members, provisional members. $200 per year plus a discount of $50 per attendance. And the trainee, I thought of. Yeah, maybe better going up. I don't know why. I just my idea is $100, half of full fee paid members with discount of $25 per attendance. I don't know.
So would you like to move that?
Maybe just tell your opinion, please.
Can you explain it a little bit more? Sorry,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, I paid $200. I need to pay $200 for a year.
Yes.
So from April to next March as member of the guild. Yeah. But if I attend today, for example, AGM, and that makes discount of $50. So if I'm here because I'm here, I need to pay only $150.
Yes.
And we're having another weekend in maybe October, November, and if I attend there, I will get $50 discount again. So I will pay eventually only $100 per year. Yeah, so that encourages people to come to attend.
So the proposed for 2024 to 25,
yep.
Is that $100 the 200 minus the 250s that you're suggesting, or is that the starting fee is the $100?
The starting fee is
So it's $100 cheaper than it would have been last year.
$70.
Sorry, it was a mistake.
yeah.
Misprint. It should only be $30 for this
Training
year.
fee was $30, so it's going up 70.
With no discount.
No discounts or anything.
Yeah. So training has been still $30 per year, and I'm looking at $100 fee discount with discount of 25 per each attendance. I'm not sure that's
I
right.
think it is an excellent proposal to give the trainees an incentive to come to the workshop, which they don't have at the moment. So it's a good idea. $50 I think is reasonable. In fact, it's cheap. So I would vote in favour.
Yeah, if you're a trainee who attends all the workshops, then it was 30, now it's 50.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's going up $20.
If you don't
But if you don't attend the workshops,
$100.
you're paying $100. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
maybe-
What are you doing?
So it may be useful for the potential trainees here to explain the difference between provisional membership and trainee membership.
Oh, yeah.
Just very briefly. So provisional membership is people who are working as piano tuners but have not yet passed the ARPT or guild exam.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. They shouldn't, however, advertise. I believe.
Shouldn't, yeah.
Okay. All right. Trainees are people who are not yet in training, not yet charging for their work, their learning, etc.
Sorry,
I think
why are there no provisional members?
there are provisional members. There are three. But there are no trainee members. We had trainee members,
We had trainees in the
or we had provisional members, and they became full members.
Yeah, and actually the trainee is normally or generally employed by someone or a member or yeah. So the company pays your fee basically in that case.
Or
Yeah,
mentored, or you may end up paying it yourself, depending on
Yeah, maybe just anyway. So yeah, maybe just try discussing about this money, $100 minus $25 each, or something else, or keep saying $30 or something. Any other opinion?
corporate vote.
Maybe
A vote. Yeah,
okay,
a vote.
it's
So,
perfect.
yeah.
Yep, it's
In
fine.
favour?
Members in favour, because only members may vote.
Yeah, only
Only
members.
members
Yeah.
may vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So,
favour?
In favour?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, maybe
Christina, are you in favour?
Yeah.
No, she's.
No,
Oh,
She's like,
we'll just assume Christina's in favour.
okay.
That's all right. That's all right.
Can you hear us, Christina?
Okay, thank you very much. So we will.
Are you in
apply-
favour? Oh, don't worry. It's passed anyway. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So you're in favour of putting the trainee membership fee up from $30 to, well, basically up from 30 to 100. Did you hear that discussion?
Neil said
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
Okay. Just say yes.
Peer pressure.
I'll talk to you about it later.
That's coercion, Brad.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, actually we are having one trainee
I can talk to Christina.
with Christine and William this year,
She's
so
in
they
favour,
should
it
know
doesn't
this
make
is
a
increasing.
But we'll just record it.
Alright, so next column, training travel levy. The detail of these things are probably explained by David later. Just money stuff I'm discussing about here, because this one was agreed at special meeting last year. I think $50 each member paying separately from membership fee, and this doesn't go ARPT subscription. Yeah, and just wonder, I'm proposing $50 for each member. That's fine, but I just wondering life member should pay or maybe not. So my personal opinion is maybe asking donation of $50 from life member instead of compulsory payment for them. I don't know. So we've got 2 life members here, so they may be able to show their opinions if they are happy
I
with
treat it as a donation, actually.
donation.
I
Yeah.
think, and I don't think there'd be anyone that would be against that. I don't would everyone be.
Yeah. Basically, life member is removed from any contribution, monetary contribution to guild. So naturally, they shouldn't.
Temporary
they
treasurer.
don't have to pay. Yeah. Okay. So you didn't need to
Probably
vote.
should vote, yes.
Should vote. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
So,
we
What's the proposal?
proposal is $50 for ARPT and members, provisional members, and trainee. and life member can donate $50 to training travel levy. Yeah. One probably small. Maybe I vote this first. Maybe because possibly provisional members and trainees, they are taking a certificate course, and they may get travel levy in later.
Right.
I
Okay.
just
So
wonder
maybe it's useful to quickly talk about the details of the
Maybe,
training levy quickly so that people understand.
Yes, please.
At the special general meeting in November last year, this was one initiative to help support training that was put to the meeting and passed. And the wording of it says that we were going to establish a training travel levy because we realised that with people across the country and some training only happening in certain places, an imposition or a barrier to people attending may be the costs of travel. So we said we will establish a levy of our members, or $50 per member, which will be slowly build up, and a trainee, or no, a guild member. The wording is quite specific. A guild member who is enrolled for certificate training may apply for reimbursement from this fund to travel to certificate courses.
So even the ARPT takes that course, they may claim.
That's correct. Yeah. So if you enroll for, we'll talk more about training later in the meeting, but it's very specifically for guild members attending certificate training, and they can apply. It's a receipt. It's not a blank check. All right. They apply to the treasurer. Here's my receipts for travelling to Christchurch to do X, Y, Z. Boom. All right. For travel costs only.
Yep.
All right. Because it's not a big amount of money, but we also don't want to burden our thing. But Yuji is right. It is completely separate from other guild funds.
Yeah. So even the guild may pay to ARPT members on things. So probably better everyone pays except life members. Yeah. Okay, that's clear. That's all right. Yeah. So maybe take vote to accept this arrangement, or we don't have to. Maybe better.
Yeah, I think it's good to vote.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to vote on the $50 payments for
everyone. That has already
because that was already
that's
agreed
established.
at the SGM. It's just the business about life members. Okay. So your proposal is to send them a bill for $50 or a donation, and they can choose.
Yeah, or maybe just moving to life member can donate the $50 instead of compulsory payment.
Okay.
So yes, so donation. No, they should pay.
No compulsion. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There's only a couple of people that should vote on this.
I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, so maybe if the and if you have a donation way,
Everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And final thing of my report. This is just confirmation of compensations for contribution of members for like examiner fee. As examiner attending a whole day exam session, they are paid $575. So $500 plus GST. And examination venue contribution, because examination uses their workshop or retail shop or whatever, and setting up day, whole day, and exam day, whole day, and so normally the venue owner gives 2 days free for the guild usage, and they can't do any business on those 2 days. So we paid $575 for that contribution. And weekend workshop venue contribution, this $575. Like today, Andrew hired, let us use this workshop whole day, but he spent maybe whole day yesterday to tidy everything up. Actually, he mentioned his daughter helped quite a lot. So we paid $575 for that contribution. And trainer contribution $575. This is the paid for trainer who held a training session all day, a training session for whatever regulation or voicing or tuning. And only once we had this situation, but we have been setting this one. And my expectation is keeping same rate to this coming tax year. Yeah, so I just want to show people, members, the guild pays these things for the members because of certain reasons. And this was discussed maybe AGM 2 years ago. So I just wanted to confirm this is there. Or if you think about these things need to be paid, or this should be too much, or we should pay more. Any opinions or anything?
Yeah, I've got an opinion.
Yes.
Well, lots of them, but anyway. I'm just curious if our income is reduced with a lot of people attending, which is really what we want anyway, but our income to the guild is reduced. So imagine our 35 members, how many? 38. Our maximum, if everyone attended, would be $3,800 of income. And then the outgoings, if we had 2 meetings and maybe an examination day each year, we're chewing up a lot of that income with those outgoings. There's not a lot of room for a lot of other outgoings. You know what I mean? There's not much. Our funds won't grow, is what I'm saying.
We have to be clever about when we're hosting guild weekends, then, don't we?
Well, I'm not suggesting we should change all that, but I'm just wanting to point out that we will just be static with our funds. Our funds won't grow, and if our outgoings are
so tight.
Sort of using up all our income every year.
It has balanced out over the last few years since we've done this, so there's no immediate concern.
No.
But I think it's working at the moment. You're right, if we all start attending, it will start to show a dip. But also, we have been tweaking these numbers at every AGM over the last few years.
Yeah.
It's probably time for 1 or 2 years where we don't tweak them.
Yeah.
And, to save discussion time and to say, okay, we're quite happy with this, let's see how it goes.
I'm just wanting to make that point. That,
and of course we get exam fee from exam candidate. A candidate, $700 per person. So
yes,
that's covered. And of course, and also last training session was free, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, well, probably we may charge like $50 per person or something for training, future training day, or I don't know. So we can adjust accordingly in the future.
Just to be mindful of.
Yeah, of course. From the view of the business, maybe whole day hire to someone $500 plus GST is not quite big actually. If you business with that whole day, you can get more money. Anyway, so keeping same amount for next year. That would be my proposal.
Okay.
So shall I move? The agreement or
I move that it be accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Second.
Brad's second.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, we've got lots of seconds.
Oh, seconds. Yeah.
Oh, we're voting as well.
We're not voting.
Second already.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mine.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Considering that we started a little bit late, when do you want to break for coffee, or do we do that? We do that.
Yes.
Break for coffee, and then we'll come back in 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Yeah.
Well, it might take 15 for everyone to get their coffee. Oh, we've just got secretary's report, election of the officers, presidential announcement, whatever that is.
The secretary's report has basically been done.
Yeah,
He talked
yeah,
about
right.
correspondence.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What else have we got?
Election of the office and general business, and that's it. So shall we just finish?
Yeah,
Let's just do
probably.
it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, Brad, you have a copy talking about before next year?
Oh.
In the AGM.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I have got that in general business. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Everybody's saying the same.
And,
Can we still, you want to start with it after coffee? Won't take long.
yeah,
5 minutes.
okay. Well,
Do you want to do maybe if we cover off the elections,
Yeah.
and then we can do that, and then
Yeah.
talk about training. How's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
after coffee go? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we need to cover off as formally?
no, just the election of officers.
Right, let's get that done.
I'll just need 5 minutes and then the floor is yours.
Sorry?
I'll just need 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
10 minutes and yes.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Good. Election of officers.
I just,
So, well,
You need to vacate the chair.
Yes, yeah.
Declare everything vacant. okay?
yep, declare all the officers
You don't have to
vacant.
physically declare. You know.
Sits vacant.
We'll pretend
That's
you've
how my
left
mother
the
described
room.
me all the
I
time.
would like to nominate Brad as president.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
We love you, Fred! Okay, man,
He's the man.
I'm not wearing any.
Rightio.
And the secretary's position is elected, I think, or is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
They have to be nominated.
Yeah.
In case there's actually 2 or 3 people that want to do it, you know, and you
Right.
have
Yes.
Ooh.
an election.
Election shootout.
Well,
Yeah.
Brad asked me if I wanted to do it. I'm actually a bit apprehensive, and that's just because I've actually I've had a role for 10 years with the guild. I'd like a couple of years break.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's big, you know.
And David, if I may add to that, we will count on you a lot next year as well.
Well, I can't help with that.
So, so I
Yes,
vote
yeah.
that I support you in standing down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we need a nomination for it.
And in which case, I'd like to nominate Christina. I'm not sure if she'd be available.
Hello?
No, she left the chair too. She definitely left the chair.
Here, please.
Christina, we wonder.
Yes, I can hear you. What was the...
We are looking for a new secretary with David Salmon's retirement, and we were wondering if you would be stepping up and be the new secretary.
Oh. For the secretary, it's just, I'm not sure if I have the time or, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too early.
I'll be interim secretary if nobody's going to stand in, but.
Is there anybody else?
Yeah.
Any other name?
All right. Yep.
Probably
Hang on.
Leave it as interim.
Sorry?
Good answer for today. Leave it as interim.
Well, we may have to move on. Accept
Right,
that for the
okay.
moment.
Yeah, I'll look.
Yeah.
Find somebody. from
I've got
the
things to
committee.
clean up anyway. Anybody who wants to step into the role, I'll help them as much as I can.
Rightio.
Thank you, David.
So, okay, that's okay then. And treasurer.
Treasurer. Yep. Yeah, I'm doing.
So.
Yes.
Nominate Eugene to remain as treasurer. I'll second that.
Yeah.
Right. So. Good. And then, do you do the vice president?
Vice
It doesn't have to be an
No,
election.
no,
It's just
okay.
someone can be
Okay.
nominated as the vice president
Okay.
from within the committee. I think.
Right.
Yeah, the
Okay.
committee can decide.
How about the committee itself?
Committee.
So now the
I'd like
committee.
to nominate Christina, and she has already said she will accept the nomination.
I'll second that.
You're on the committee.
And
Yeah.
Christina?
Christina, did you hear that?
No.
No.
I didn't hear it.
You're on the committee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be fine.
Ah.
Yay!
We need, what, 5 members, is it? Is that what we do?
It's flexible.
Okay. Yeah, nominate Stephen Bennett.
I nominate Stephen.
Oh,
Bell.
Pal, I always called you Pal. Bennett. So you're Stephen Bennett.
You have to be.
I bet you got a shot, Ben. Would you like to be on the committee?
I'll
Second it.
Okay. Yeah. Stephen Powell. Wytze.
I am almost I'm not on the committee, but de facto I'm
You-
sort of
yeah,
in
you
that,
have to
in
stay
that
on,
role a
yeah,
bit because of next year.
Yeah, we just have to say.
I'm on by default,
Oh, yeah. So this
but
Kevin.
I'm happy to not do
Oh, just get on with
committee
it.
stuff only. Like I'll just be keeping up with the exam stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm on by default so that I'm on with Chanty basically to
Yeah.
talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I nominate David?
David
Oh,
Jenkin
Yeah.
on the committee.
I'll second that.
are you still comfortable in your role as complaints convener, Stephen?
Yep, because it's been nice and quiet.
Too scary. Unlike one
Well, I
previous year.
have, but that was really just the magazine. I can throw.
The calm before the storm.
That's probably
That's probably enough. We're all happy.
Is there anybody who would like to? Fresh members?
Yeah. Look, can I just say as well, for those that are scared of being part of these roles or anything, it's going to be really important in the future if you guys want to gain some experience doing this, because it's been invaluable over the last 10 years. I've actually ended up doing all of these roles, and you learn a whole lot of new skills, and you figure out it's actually not so scary after all. As long as you go, sort of front up and do a little bit. Yes, it does take a bit of work behind the scenes, but it's really valuable. Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to be a committee member? Yeah. Absolutely.
That's great.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes. Excellent.
Well,
So I'll second. Graham and Lee nominated
Yep.
second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Is that enough? That's
Yes.
right. So we'll accept that as gospel.
Yep.
So to speak. Now we just got general business. Unless are we doing coffee first? Or?
Yeah. Coffee first.
Okay,
Yeah.
coffee and then
Okay, this is about next year. Quiz question. When was the piano invented and by whom?
You're not allowed to answer.
What year?
1733.
Nope.
1610.
Nope.
Christopher Indiana.
1721.
What's a piano? Piano.
No, it's just
The year 1700. Exactly. Oh, it's a bit of a round number, but exactly the year 1700 we did it. Over the next couple of years, it was shown to people, so early 1700. 1700. And who was he?
Bartolomeo Christopher.
Bartolomeo Cristofori.
Yes.
One last.
that speech.
That's the extent of my knowledge.
I think it's keeping all that.
Then, that name appears in the title of the Australasian Piano Tuners Convention 2025. We decided to call it From Cristofori to Christchurch, celebrating piano's 325th birthday. So there's our title. And I say our because it'll be our convention. We are going to show the best of New Zealand to an international audience. Many of them will be Australians, of course, because this is an ARPT Australasian conference. But we're giving it a bit of a byline, International Piano Tuners Conference, because we already have contacts from overseas, and depending on budget, we will have overseas speakers there as well. So it definitely has an international flavour. As Brad said before, we've already got connections outside New Zealand, and we're going to tap into those. So it'll be quite exciting in that aspect that you will get to hear presentations not just from New Zealand, but also from Australia, and hopefully also the rest of the world. So this is happening in October, the first week of October next year, 2025, and I will hand out some flyers tomorrow. We've done a lot of pre-publicity. In Brisbane, the flyers were going around. In Nuremberg, in Germany, the flyers were being handed out. In Nuremberg, particularly, I spoke to quite a few technicians. Said, "Oh, we'd love to come to New Zealand. It's always been a dream of mine to come to New Zealand," and so on. So the staff at Pestle is talking to Susanna Petrov to convince her to pay for that ticket, and so on. So things are happening, and with your support, if you have international connections, and many of you do, please just make a bit of noise. Get this thing on the map. We started nice and early, but the next year will pass quickly, and so let people know and encourage them to take a holiday in New Zealand.
In October.
In October, yeah, beautiful month.
First week.
We've got the absolute best of all venues, the Christchurch Town Hall, right in the heart of town. The cafes are there, the restaurants are there, the hotels are there. You can walk everywhere. The Avon, the tram, so it's a perfect venue. So, make some noise about it. Okay. Now, so some of us have had to start thinking about workshops and presentations, and many of you filled in the form, so we have some idea of what people want to see, and we have some offers of workshops already from New Zealand and overseas. David Jenkin is an important contact here because David and Brad and myself and Janet, we're on the steering committee, so we kind of have to send out these invitations. But everybody's input is welcome. If you thought, I've always wanted to hear a presentation about ... let us know. DJ, myself, Brad, and the topics that will be covered one way or the other, it's a broad field, but it's like voicing and hammers. There's some new exciting thing happening at Beckstein with the hammers. Regulating repair, innovations, tools, time-saving techniques, all this sort of stuff. But we're hoping to make it fresh, new ideas, and new presenters too, and good presenters. So for us all, it's an opportunity to meet and hear from technicians from Australia and around the world. And of course, the whole idea of bringing in people from overseas is budget. If you have to pay for their airfares and their hotel and a fee, the budget will run out very, very quickly. We're hoping to find some suckers like ourselves. I don't know. I shouldn't speak for others because David presenting and David Salmon presenting. But I got a bottle of wine anyway, which was lovely. Really, it was a good wine. It was really nice. And then in Nuremberg, I forget what I got paid, a few €100, but it's a long way for a couple of €100. But once again, you do these things because you do these things. We're hoping to find some people like that who will say, love coming to New Zealand, I'll pay for my own flight. Fingers crossed. Okay. The other, there will be an expense, I think, in the budget, which I need to share with you because it will be part of this, and that is that we don't have in-house expertise, as far as I know, at a high level for artwork and design. So we may have to outsource that. Yeah, but everything else we can cover ourselves. And I've got some names here, but I need to share them with you. Basically, keep that first week of October next year free. Big red letters in your diary, and like I said, make some noise about this. That'd be great. Support. Any questions about that?
Yeah, what time is that? A Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, I think. I think it's the 5th. I'll give you the flyers tomorrow. I think it's the 5th of October.
Right.
Very early, yeah. Must be the first weekend.
What city was it again?
And it's Christchurch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Christchurch. It's in the South Island.
Sounds cold.
What's the convention for?
Early.
Neutering guinea pigs.
You or who's the contact?
Yes, send them to me. Janet will be in charge. Janet's my wife, Janet Dean. She's in charge of delicate communications, but send it to me. I see her regularly.
We have to.
Pleased about it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, there's a bit of a diary clash. You are aware that it coincides with the annual Canterbury pig wrestling competition.
Oh, could be included. Sightseeing.
That's our first excursion.
Pig wrestling.
It can be a partners and wives event.
Your partners event.
Right, okay.
Adding you. Don't think I call my wife.
A little bit of an update about training. Maybe some really quick background, and I've actually written myself some notes which are considerably shorter than the last correspondence we had from I think I forgot. I didn't even count the pages. It was just ridiculous.
It's about 9 pages or something. 6 or 9 pages.
I thought, get it down to a page and a half, please. Anyway, as a result of a pre-COVID initiative from this organisation and following consultations with the NZQA and Toi Mai, a workplace development council, some needs assessments, some surveys, some interviews with piano tuners and numerous other interested parties, the New Zealand certificate in piano tuning and technology was added to the New Zealand list of qualifications in early 2023, so about this time last year. That in one sentence encompasses years and hundreds of hours of work, I cannot tell you.
You wanted to put it on one page, come on. 10 years, one line.
Contact was then established with Te Pukenga, the National Polytechnic, who passed the responsibility for the course design and delivery onto the Southern Institute of Technology. Following personal and online meetings, on the 18th of February this year, SIT made an extensive proposal, which I've just shown you, to design the training course based on the training units that we have developed in-house earlier. So those training units are here. For anybody who's interested in this, this is laid out in prerequisites and co-requisites and etc., what we think should be covered in a course. A lot of our members will have seen this before, and those were developed together with Stephen and I, and with input from other members, and worked and reworked. They encompass some Australasian units that were created years and years ago, but were never used. In this industry, there's a history of developing qualifications and working away at it, and they just never get taught. They never get established. And I can remember in one of the meetings with Toi Mai, they said, "Oh, well, look at what the South Africans were doing," and I read through and I thought, This is nonsense. This is rubbish. They have never ever taught this. Somebody has sat in an office and scribbled it down and got a stamp. But we are more determined. Anyway, we have responded to that proposal from the Southern Institute of Technology with a number of questions, corrections and queries. And we'll just comment that the Southern Institute of Technology is Invercargill based, but with a Christchurch campus. And people go, oh, Christchurch, Auckland, you know. Christchurch is the second biggest city, and so they've got a campus there, and they've also got a national reach. So they teach stuff across the country. Anyway, that's just the introduction. The following is a much abridged report with some of our additions and some commentary on the proposal and some possible steps forward. The training design, designing training which will deliver these outcomes for trainees. There are 3 aims, and they are to satisfy identified workforce and regional shortages and variable standards. Doing that 3 ways: providing, first of all, affordable training, providing graduates that meet the industry needs. And we're sitting amongst the practitioners here, but we are not the whole industry. All right? The industry is retail, manufacturing, etc., etc. And the users of our services. And the third, and I think quite important aspect of trying to get this up and running, is to provide opportunities for current practitioners to upskill. All right? And it was really interesting during some of the surveys that our members said, oh, when they saw bits and pieces, that, you know what, I would really like to do that more or less as a certificate of competency, just that unit. So it's designed hopefully to be a bit like that. Southern Institute of Technology are proposing the following. They're proposing a 2-stage training arrangement. Stage 1, covering units that can be taught online or that already exist as part of their or other polytechnic courses, plus any piano tuning specific block courses that are seen as a prerequisite to future training. For example, health and safety in workshops, common tool use, that's taught across the country in a number of polytechs. But they would administer that and say, okay, man has gone to the Nelson Polytech and he's learned how to cut his fingers off when he's using a saw. And that could be, etc. Right?
Credits.
But it gets you a credit because then you know that this guy that you're coming into your workshop and you're saying, great, do that, and by the way, I'm off to tune a piano, I'm going to leave you here all day, you're not going to come back and the workshop's going to be full of blood.
That's happened before, hasn't it?
It has happened before. Or, for example, music and specifically piano history and design, or acoustics. So some basic stuff that is really good to get under your belt before you let loose in a workshop. We have some thoughts about this. Anyway, stage 2, and they say, having completed stage 1, progress to the learning on the job training, apprenticeship or mentored training supported by attending workshops, selected project placements. And in conversation with Stephen, who has a background in a different branch, said one of the useful training things was when somebody was short of this skill would say, well, actually, the person who does that best works here.
Yeah.
Right. So why don't you go there for a week or a month or whatever? So what we hope we're going to move towards is a situation where somebody says, I'm restringing a grand piano. Who hasn't done that? Do you know what I mean? But it's all got to be overseen and supported somehow. What they already have, which exists across the Polytechnic system, is an online system of recording progress. All right, so that work can get signed off. This person has now done 57 Yamaha loop replacement jobs. He's competent.
Woohoo, that's me.
All right. So that system is already in place and runs online across the polytechnics. I have stressed in communications to people before that if you're already doing something, it's really important to record that and get it signed off by whoever you're doing it with. If you're doing some of us are doing some mentoring, etc., even if it looks a bit patchy, but that we write down, okay, recentering. We've done this 2 or 3 times. Southern Institute of Technology sees Stage 1 is open to all students with the option of those who do not progress to piano tuning moving to other training offered by them, for example, the recording industry, etc., etc. They've got some courses which sort of kind of align with that. Personally, and I say we because this has been discussed with Brad and the other subcommittee, I see that as unfair to those who do not manage to find a mentor or training arrangement. And it could also possibly lead to an oversupply of unqualified tuners. People say, well, bugger it, I went and did Stage 1 and I know X, Y, Z, and they buy themselves a tuning hammer and then off they go and they do a whole lot of damage. Yep. So I think that, personally, I don't think that's a good idea. I would prefer to see a mentoring or tutoring arrangement in place as a prerequisite to entering Stage 1. I think that's sensible. Actually, on this list of suitability for candidates for work, there's a little box right up the top there that some of you people may have a look at that came with input from Eugene and Stephen and some people about who we think are people who are suitable for this kind of work. The nationally limited number of mentors and trainees, who are mostly in this room, then provides a natural numbers control on this course. So suddenly we don't have 57 additional piano tuners, and some people within this room have already said, why are we doing this? You know, I'm training my competition or potential. But I kind of look at it another way, but then I am older. I'm also looking to who's got a rich daddy who's going to buy my business, you know? So, or if you're a younger person and you're building a business, this is absolutely the way to build a business, all right? You need people working alongside you to grow your business. If you're perfectly happy being a sole trader all your life, that's fine. But I will also inject into the conversation the fact that most of us here, a lot of us here, have had the advantage somewhere along the line of somebody helping them. And I see this as give back time. Attracting trainees doesn't seem to be a problem, as we see here today. And in fact, anybody that contacts either Toi Mai or the Southern Institute of Technology or all kinds of places, there's a system already in place that David has been helping with, where you get a pinged email, and this person says, oh gosh, I heard about this, I'm interested, and eventually it gets to me, and I respond and send them as much information as I have at the time, and from time to time update it. At the end of this weekend, I think I'll probably send this to all those people on that list. I can tell you at the moment that list is currently 60 people. There are a lot of tyre kickers there, and a lot who are unsuitable. That we have, Eugene and I have met some in Auckland, and there are a couple of people that we have said, no, this is not for you, all right? And we have also said to people who are saying, oh, this would be nice, I could do this part-time, or etc. We're saying no. All right? This is to provide fully competent, professional piano tuners. All right? And it would be we think it would be unfair for us to give our time and expertise helping somebody who wants to only tune pianos for their church, for example. So we have already said no to some people. Anyway, just to say, attracting trainees does not seem to be a problem. Currently our list sits at 60, and hopefully that list is slowly self-correcting information, because there's just not the capacity. And the other, I think, really important criteria about people who would like to train is their own willingness to actively engage with the current workforce and forge training and mentoring relationships. This training is a partnership model, all right, and it must benefit everybody. That's kind of what I was talking about. This is a good way to grow a business, or to not have to travel to Tiara or wherever, all right, to look after XYZ piano. You can say, well, it's not a course where a paid fee and attendance guarantees a result. I mean, there's a little bit of a personal attitude, perhaps, a little bit of a sickness in some of our education facilities where people rock up, everybody rocks up, and they pay attendance fee, and they take out a student loan or whatever. I've paid the fee, I need to get qualified, I need to get out there. It's not like that. Finance. Now we come to the crunch. An apprentice, for example, if we're talking about an apprenticeship model, if you're lucky enough to secure an apprenticeship model, on a minimum wage might earn $35,000. Wage and other subsidies payable to the apprenticor might be approximately $5,000 in the first year. And New Zealand NZQA, because this is a New Zealand qualification, official qualification, a student loan would be available for those who wanted to take it, who were enrolled. This training needs to be supported by all who benefit from this work, and not just this organisation. We recall, we are thinking, or I'm thinking, that one of the next big steps forward is to call a meeting of all the interested parties to share the establishment cost. The Southern Institute of Technology are telling us is $5,000. So it's not fair for us as the workers to front that whole $5,000, even if the money were there in kitty, which is looking a little bit lean at the moment. The people who benefits from this, we benefit from upskilling and having mates to work alongside, and somebody to pass our businesses on to, etc., etc. But the real people, the people who really benefit from this, are the piano retailers, the manufacturers, music students, piano teachers, the ballet teachers, the church choirs, etc., etc. So my proposal is call a meeting, probably in Auckland, because some of those people that I've just mentioned that are, I don't know, 6 weeks, 2 months hence, and invite them all and put this in front of them and say, well, the piano tuners have done all this by themselves, it's time for you to stump up some money. Right? So go to the retailers and say, we need to share the costs of this establishment. I don't think the guild should pay more than, I don't know, $1,500 of that, for example.
Yeah.
That's just as an example. And we want the rest to come either from private sponsorship or from the Yamaha dealer, the Kawai dealer, and I think also the grey import dealers, because they benefit from us.
Oh yes.
All right. And I think put them on a spot. You're importing pianos. You're selling them into the market. Right. So that's my proposal.
Yeah.
All right. And hopefully from that meeting will also come membership and Institute of Registered Music Teachers, Suzuki Institute, etc., etc. Send out and a representative from each of the New Zealand universities' music departments. All right, really broad based. Need to be quite a carefully managed meeting, I think. But somewhere on neutral territory. Some retailers have already indicated practical and financial support. Some individual parties have already indicated willingness to support this. what I would hope would come out of that meeting would be membership of the people who should be on that yet to be established charitable fund. Because the $5,000 won't be enough. It'd be enough to get this course designed and up and running. Right? But beyond that, the costs into the future will be there. So a charitable trust, which might have one or maybe two members from the guild on it, but not too many, which is completely independent of this, but specifically designed to support this training, which is government training, I think would be a good way to go. I should say that this is an initiative of the Piano Tuners Guild, but participation in it is not, as a New Zealand qualification, is not limited to members of this guild, which is why the wording of that training travel support fund is so specific. If we are contributing, I don't think that should be going to somebody who stays outside the guild but wants to benefit from this training, which they can sign up for. That's fine. All right? Okay. Attending that meeting should be New Zealand Piano Tuners Guild, piano retailers and piano manufacturers, New Zealand representatives on piano and manufacturers, New Zealand representatives and piano importers. Piano users, for example, the IRMT, University Music Departments and others as well as philanthropists. There are a couple there that are just sort of sitting in the background. If anybody knows, if anybody's looking after really nice pianos for people who've obviously got some wherewithal and think might be approachable, please let me know and we'll bring them an invitation. Ahead of that meeting, there's a customer of mine who does a lot of philanthropic work and does a lot of music support work. I've already flagged him. I'd like to go to him and have a conversation about how to see if we can do this as efficiently as possible.
Can I just add that philanthropic organisation has been established and it has got a name so people can...
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
And in fact, one of our replies to this rather rambling training program design from Southern Institute of Technologies, and we gave them the deadline of this meeting and said, please can we have this in a much more succinct way, because it's very difficult to ask money unless you've got something from people, unless you've got something concrete to put in front of them. So I would ask them before that meeting, on the basis of this, to come back to us before that meeting with something, nuts and bolts stuff. This will cost this much, that will cost X, Y, Z. All right, because you can't ask people to contribute to something that you don't know what it is, or whether it gets going. Just to reiterate, we have established a training levy to support guild members enrolled for the certificate who need to travel for training. Facilities, trainers and teachers and other needs. In our research and surveys, and thanks very much to Stephen for saying this was a good idea late last year, I think, can't remember. Yeah. We've already identified potential tutors, mentors and possible piano workshop spaces and piano retail spaces that will be necessary to advance this training. Right? So we've kind of got in spreadsheet form, oh good, there are 11 people who could do this, 3 people who could do this, and 5 places that might do this. We have identified suitable texts, right, and textbooks, tools. Yuji didn't talk about tools, but we said we would establish, from that special general meeting late last year, we said we would establish loan toolkits for 2 reasons. One is good tools, good piano tuning tools are expensive by the time you've got a whole kit together. And there may be, being realistic, there may be people who get started on this and go, oh, this is not for me, this is much harder than I thought. And they've spent $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on tools. What are they going to do with them? So, you know, in some instances we'll probably be able to say to somebody, well, here's a loan kit, but it's guild stuff. You could probably buy it off us over the time of your apprenticeship. That's a model that works in overseas jurisdictions, and we hope to establish some more. At the moment, we have had some donations of tools from retired tuners. One in particular, quite good kit. Yes, and a few bits and pieces.
I guess if we all look around in our workshop, we have 2 of this and 3 of that.
Yeah. So if you've got spare tools and things like that, bring them to a meeting. I think Christina actually held her hand up at some stage to administer that, but she's rather baby busy at the moment. And the dribs and drabs of piano parts that are on the top of the grand piano there have come about out of that piano kit. If anybody needs them, and money from those would go into that training travel fund, which is why we've kept it separate.
So cash please, cash preferable.
Do we need a new coordinator for the tool collection?
It would be really good, because Yuji's got them at the moment, and Yuji says he's cataloguing that tool, making an inventory of what's in that toolkit.
I will show you soon.
Okay. What else? How would that training also be supported? Online training. Yes, where the quality is acceptable. They looked up on the internet. The Southern Institute of Technology looked up on the internet these online training courses and said, look, these are available, and we wrote back, no, possible. And the court tutorials, they're good, aren't they?
What? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So there's. You keep telling me you use them.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah.
But are you calling them court? Aren't they pace journals?
Pace.
Why
am I calling them court?
Which was, and it's an acronym for something.
Yeah.
Pace.
Okay.
Yeah, that was why the bank walked, but I didn't know what you meant.
Okay. That's all right.
Pace
you were
journals.
court.
Yeah. Pace journals.
The New Zealand Piano Tuners Guild and the ARPT qualification, and this is quite important for us as well, remains unchanged. Because they immediately said, oh look, you've already got examiners and so forth and so on. And we said, no, you leave that alone. It can't be changed, it's not ours to change. Possibly the tuning exam is used at the completion of the tuning units, all right, which would also be stepping up to ARPT membership. Up to the practical components of the ARPT exam should probably actually be signed off during their training, regulation and things like that. So these people would rock up to entry exam and blitz it. Timetable. Approximately commencement, approximately 12 months from the completion of the design and training. That's what they're telling us. So that, at the moment, looks like the middle of next year before they get this up and running. The other thing is there's I've been going back to them with specific questions because they speak education and I don't speak education. This course, the TEC, the Tertiary Education Commission, which blindsided me, had included in their list of work of training that they were going to support for the coming year, piano tuning, which is why all that publicity around it. I got interviewed and I didn't even know that was the impetus for those interviews. And I said, well, all these things popped up. This is new. These are new things. So, but nobody took time to tell us that. There is a fee for the course, and it's because of the way the course is structured and weighted. It's 1.75 full-time equivalent, whatever. Credits. And that translates to dollars in their thinking at the moment of an annual fee of $6,500 for the course, right, for the first year, and 0.75 of that in every subsequent year, about $4,000. There's probably a bunch of questions. I'm very conscious of time moving on. I'm going to suggest, and are there any, what's the best plan?
Matt, next. You're next, Andrew.
How long?
Well, I'm already 45 minutes late starting, so
I'll get off.
you can cancel it if you want.
Okay,
You
right.
like.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
My suggestion is come to Stephen or myself or Brad or David Salmon, and if you've got questions about this, if you want to be piano tuner potential, have a good look at this, digest what we've been talking about, alright? Just to say that we're just beavering on, we're slowly ticking all the boxes, but we're not giving up, we're pushing ahead. Okay?
Thank you. Excellent.
Finish the AGM.
Oh, okay. Right, we'll just declare the AGM closed.
Well done.
Well.